Hello, everyone. This is Akata Vesta here. Thank you for joining me. Today, I would like to talk about a very special dream that I had just a few nights. And this dream is so vivid, I actually didn't need to write it down. It stayed with me so clearly. And even during the days afterward, while I am trying to understand the symbolism and the meaning of this dream, it actually bring me into the I Ching gene keys that I am doing at this moment. Ever since the first week in August, to be exactly, it was on the 4th of August, I have started to experience the consciousness of this 55th gene key. And it is about rhythm. In Richard Rudd gene key system, the gift level and the city level are represented by the same word, rhythm. So it has been already more than 10 days that I am trying to understand, to integrate, and to bring it out from my understanding, from my own experience. I am still diving deep into it. And this word freedom, I really want to invite you to ponder deeply together with me through this dream that I am also having, to see if there is any inspiration for you in your own life, how you see freedom from an external factor, and most importantly, how deeply you feel freedom in your own world, in your inner world. What freedom means to you in your everyday life, in your consciousness. So to start with, I try to describe the dream itself as how it was. So I was dreaming that I was in a countryside with a country pathway, very well defined. And so as I was walking on this road, first I encountered a giraffe. But the point was, it was a baby giraffe. And as he was walking towards me, I was holding him or her and stroking along his long neck, reassuring, it is okay, everything is fine. And somehow we were walking together while I was still holding him, caressing him, and giving him reassurance, I would say. And then further down the road, I saw a horse. Even here, it's not a horse standing on the pastures and galloping or whatever. He was laying down on the sideway when very slowly me and this baby giraffe walking towards him. he was still laying on the ground. There wasn't any saddles. I could literally just cross my leg over him, and he, from that point onward, he stand up, and I was in this riding position. At some point, I was saying goodbye to this baby giraffe, and me and this horse, we keep on walking, not galloping, very nicely, very gracefully. We were just walking along the road toward whatever. So the dream itself could have been just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But trust me, when I say it was so vivid, I literally remember every details. So by looking up the spiritual meaning of a giraffe and a horse, the giraffe, in a sense, that represent a god messenger, as a giraffe is so tall, one of the tallest animals we can ever find on ground, and represents this pathway, this connection between here and up there. A giraffe stand tall amongst all the other animals. He is graceful. He is very demure, as the word nowadays so popular all of a sudden. And the patterns of a giraffe's body also represent, in a way, the interconnectedness between realms, between people, between us with the others. Because it was a baby giraffe, and I was in a way of reassuring her or him, I would describe that could represent also the inner child that is in me, the little girl that needs to be reassured, to feel the protection, the love from this adult, me. As in a dream, is these baby giraffes inviting me to look deep, to go back, to find this inner child that was in me. I knew when I was a little girl, I was highly connected with the spiritual realm. Those little kids that always talk inside their head, that they have this communication with the other side that most of the adults just couldn't comprehend. And maybe in a way that I need to find back this little child who was highly connected with the divine, with the other realms, and to accept the fact that I am unique. Each of us is unique in our own way. We stand out for our own essence, that we have these difficulties to fit in. We may be seen as the black sheep in the family, not doing everybody's are doing. And somehow in our process, growing process, we suppress this uniqueness in us in order to fit in. And I find that he's coming back as a baby giraffe and asking for that reassurance, for that love that I may have forgotten myself, for this little girl in me. And to take up once again my connection with the divine without fear, to accept and to bring out my authenticity. In a way, I am so grateful for this baby giraffe periods. And the road itself in a countryside. And I think each of us come into this embodiment. Each of us has a special manifestation, purposes. We somehow sign up for certain path, and how clear this path is, I think very much depends on how much we are connected with our higher self, with the I am, that I am, with our monad, that do we give permission to our higher self consciously to guide us through certain pathway, even without knowing what can happen, what will happen, and just let the divine to bring us through each step. And so at the end of the road, there is this hope laying down. And all I need to do just to cross my leg and be lifted up together with him. As we know, the horse very commonly, universally agreed as a symbol of freedom. But freedom itself is scary. When we don't know certain rules, that we can actually walk the path that we desire is scary. As you know that since last year, I have been embarking in this journey, traveling by myself in the States. It has been a very scary and lonely journey. In a way, It even not fair for me to say it was a lonely journey. I knew and I know every step I was accompanied by so many spirits, divine beings. I actually didn't need to arrange much. In those 5 months, 6 months, while I was traveling from the West Coast to the East and back, everything just turned out as how it should be. Yes, I have to do the driving. Yes, I have to arrange where to sleep. And somewhere, somehow, I always get by in a fantastic way. And I would meet people I didn't even expect it, encountered circumstances, visiting places that wasn't just a tourist visit. It wasn't a trip. It was a spiritual journey. And so the fact that I only need to cross over and let myself be held up by this horse, I would say almost as if, yes, I am there. The door, the portal is already there, open. If I would just make this tiny movement, crossing and letting the force to bring me through. And this relationship between a rider and the horse, and of course, I am not someone expert in relationship between rider and horse. I can ride. I have experience of riding, but it is so limited. From my gut feelings and intuition, I believe that when a horse let himself to make this connection with the rider, the connection is already established the moment they meet. As the horse could feel so much of our psyche, of our feelings, our emotions, they know which person they would allow to ride with them, to be in this companion relationship. Each emotion, each thought of the rider can be perceived by this horse. And so I would say that in this dream, the dreamer, I was invited to experience that relationship, that companionship between me and the horse, who represent the ultimate rhythm. And to be courageous, to move on forward into the path that I couldn't see, that my human consciousness can't understand at this moment. And with that, I would like to share also an experience on the 4th of August, and it was the new moon in Leo. That was a day that I was leaving California, going back to Vancouver. And in my first day drive, I didn't expect I would leave on that day, but the circumstances happened that I can just go, and all my things already packed, already arranged in my car. There is nothing held me back to stay in California at that moment. So I was thinking at that night, I wouldn't even arrange an hotel. I would just drive towards the north back to Vancouver before I have another 2 arrangements where I will meet some other friends. I said to myself, I will just drive. And maybe if I find a spot that I would like, I would try it for the first time, car camping. And so I was driving along the California coast, beautiful scenery between the coastline and redwood forest, enjoying very slow driving, which is very uncommon for me. And around late afternoon, before I thought I would stop by a certain point, I was driving just out from the redwood into the ocean coastline, and I saw a public parking along the ocean. The moment I saw that, I knew I would love to stay there for the night. There is, of course, no facilities, nothing, but I was prepared. And I have my sleeping bags, I have the curtains to black out the windows, I have water to do some cleansing, and a little other things that one may need for the night. By nighttime, all the other cars are gone. It was just me and my car. That was the night that I never felt so safe, so protected. There is only the sky, the ocean, and me. While I was drifting off to sleep, listening to the ocean waves, so much I have downloaded at that night. The understanding of freedom, of that freedom that is not defined by any rules. I was so free to stop wherever I want. And this freedom gave me that ultimate protection, knowing that I was protected. The sky is my protection. The ocean was my music. And I would say that was the first day, first night, I was embarking on this 55th I Ching, Gene Key of freedom. And after all these days, today is the 18th. So from the new moon in Leo, we are going into a full moon in Aquarius. In 2 days, we will have this full moon, very potent full moon in Aquarius. The whole cycle of the lunation with this dream. It may take me a few more days to really write down this I Ching consciousness, but I am feeling it very deeply. As I said at the beginning, I invite you to ponder what is true rhythm for you and the inner child. Have you connected with this inner child within you? Is there still some fear, some shadow? Or does that child still feel unsafe, insecure? What would you do and what would you say to this inner child? How would you reassure this inner child that, okay, now that you are doing the job, the inner work to make everything's right? And how would you, from here onward, picking up that unseen journey in our lives? It's a very deep thinking, and I hope you find this video, these messages resonate with you. I would like to hear your comments, and that is my heart sharing with you. Thank you for being here with me. From my heart to yours, Akata Vesta.